Hello guys, so in this video I want to talk about exceptions in Python, and in this scenario I'll be using a function to explain exceptions. So we have a function here called int value. We're going to get a value from this function, and we have some conditions. Now let's look at the try, except, and the finally block. These are the core ideas here. So I'm entering a number, and the number must be greater than 3. But let us say I put 0. So I'm putting something less than 3. So I have a condition here. If the result is less than 3, raise an exception. So this is the next keyword, raise. So raise exception. This will come to the exception, will kick in here, except exception as E. Whatever is this exception here, num less than 3, we're calling it E, and we are printing that string. So when we print that string, we have a continue here. Now what this continue means, we're going to go back to the while true. We're going to move back in the while loop. But we won't have an else printed because the condition is not true. However, this finally going to be printed. This line will always be printed. So it's a scenario like, let's give it some sequence in here. So we enter 0. So this is line 4. So this is like 1. This here is true because 0 is less than 3. So this is true, which will trigger this line here, this exception, which will cause line 8 to print, which then leads to line 9, continue. Continue gonna take us back to the while true, but before that, line 13 will be printed. So we're gonna have a looping scenario here. Now, let us say we enter 1, same thing gonna play out again. We're gonna have a number less than 3, raise an exception, continue is here, but the finally line will still be printed, and we're gonna move back to while true. So now let's say we enter 5. So 5 now is greater than 3. So there will be no exceptions. There will be no case of an exception in this scenario. Let's look at that. If the value is okay, right? So if we enter 5 here, so this line, if result is less than 5, this is going to be false. So this will not have any impact. This will not be printed, nor this, nor this. So this else, we're gonna have print, great, input is okay. And after that, we're gonna just break from this while loop. So we're gonna come here and break from this while loop. But at the same time, finally will be printed. So exception or no exception, finally will be printed. That's the whole idea here. All right. So let's look at this in terms of code. So this is the function, same code, I just snipped it, and I'll run it now. So please enter a number greater than 3, but I just entered 0. So you see we have num less than 3 because we have an exception, right? In line 5 here is true, so it will raise an exception. So this num less than 3 is printed by virtue of line 8 print statement. Then we have continue. So continue means we're gonna go back into the loop, but you see, finally print, this line will always print, has been printed. So now if I hit 1, again I generate an exception, same scenario. But now if I hit, let's say 8, so 8 will result in no exceptions, so none of this lines 6 to 9 or have any impact. So it says great, input is okay, so that's line 11, and then you just break from the while loop. But in all these 3 scenarios, you see that this line will always print, this line will always print, this line will always print finally. So in this here, we have covered setting up a function, having a loop within the function that can iterate, and we're using try, using if statement, raise exception, else block, continue, break, and finally. So I think with this here you can do a lot, just this idea, right? So guys, I'll stop here for this video, and if you find this, if you find the content good, please subscribe to my channel for more. All right, I really appreciate that. Bye for now.